Fox News host Brian Kilmeade has come up with a cute way of defending Donald Trump's gaffes. And these, which I'll ask Vivek Ramaswamy about, what he thinks is Trump cognitively glitching. These are happening really regularly. And Brian Kilmeade says, oh, he's doing it on purpose. Let me give you an example of what I mean. Here is Donald Trump gushing about Hungarian authoritarian Viktor Orban, again got confused over the weekend and said that Obama is president of the United States. This is what Brian Kilmeade is going to weigh in on in a moment.
So much more. But the head of Hungary, a very tough, strong guy, Viktor Orban. Did anybody ever hear of him? Probably, considered very powerful within his country and outside of his country. Not exactly loved by some of the European nations because he does his thing. He didn't allow millions of people to invade his country. He allowed nobody to invade. Zero. He had nobody. So he doesn't have crime, and he doesn't have the problems that they're having in other countries where millions of people are allowed to go in. But they were interviewing him 2 weeks ago, and they said, what would you advise President Obama? The whole world seems to be exploding and imploding.
Right.
And he said, it's very simple. He should immediately resign. And
so there it is. President Obama, President Obama, President Obama. Here is Brian Kilmeade essentially arguing Trump's not in cognitive decline. He's crazy. He actually believes Obama's the president, which is a really interesting way to defend this guy. Take a listen.
You can't compare yourself to Joe Biden. There's no way. And Donald Trump keeps saying that because he believes Obama's pulling the strings. I talked to him off camera about that. I talked to him on radio about that. I said, "What?" And I corrected him on the radio interview. Please go back and listen. I said, you mean Joe Biden? He goes, no, Joe Biden, he's convinced Barack Obama's running the country. That's why he says it. He wants you to think that.
Oh, Brian, come on.
And he thinks that's to his advantage.
That's good. That's good. You should be his manager, his campaign manager.
Listen to the interview.
Good. That's a really good spin on that. No, that's a good spin on that.
I'm going to jump in, guys.
And Brian Kilmeade says, no, it's not spin. So he's arguing that Trump is just a conspiracy theorist. He's not actually in cognitive decline. Now, that's not what's happening at all. We have the tapes. We have dozens of examples. Here is yet another example. This is not about Obama pulling the strings. Here he talks about how the Obama administration has the facts about the wall that Trump built. Now, of course, Obama wasn't president after Trump. So it's yet another example of this exact same thing.
And then I build a 40-foot wall, a 50-foot wall, or a 30-foot wall on top. They say that was a renovation. That doesn't count. These people, I'll tell you what they have. I'll tell you, they have a great line of bullshit. That's one thing I can tell. That was a renovation. Like sloppy Chris Christie. Oh, he only built 56 miles of wall because there was some wood laying on the ground. So they call that a renovation. We built almost 500 miles of wall. Even the Obama administration says it in their stats.
The Obama administration in their stats tells you how many miles of wall Trump built. He means the Biden administration. He's not saying that because he thinks Obama's in control. He's genuinely confused. Now, we're not diagnosing anything here. A common feature of various types of cognitive decline is your mind focuses on earlier things that were important, things that dominated your thoughts at an earlier point in your life. We know Trump was furiously obsessed with Barack Obama to a degree that it almost seems like Biden and Hillary don't really rile him up that much. The birtherism, the stuff like that. So, in fact, the focus on Obama is yet another concerning sign. We're not diagnosing anything, but the spin that he's doing this on purpose to explain his belief that it's actually Obama who's in charge, it simply doesn't pass the sniff test. So I wrote another book for kids. The first book was Think Like a Detective. The point of the first book was to teach kids critical thinking, which Republicans don't want them to learn because when kids learn critical thinking, they don't vote for Republicans. The new book is Think Like a Scientist. This is a fun adventure teaching kids the scientific method. Again, Republicans aren't big on kids learning the scientific method because when they do, they're less likely to fall for Republican lies about climate change and vaccines and so many other things. You can get the new book as well as the first one at davidpakman.com/book. This is part of the Adventures in Thinking series. Can you imagine that we're doing this? We are. davidpakman.com/book. 13,500 copies of the first book have sold. I'll bring you an update soon on sales for the second book. Think like a scientist. davidpakman.com/book.